Hey everybody, it's me, KD, and I'm back for another episode of Girl on Fire. I guess you could call this another special episode. My last special episode was with Ann Shade. Um, this week, my special episode is with Kris Bryant. Say hi, Kris.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and we're actually gonna do two separate hot sauces here because I made a mistake, guys. I told her to get this hot sauce and then I forgot to get it
Excuse
myself.
me. It's a ghost sauce.
Ghost
I think that's a
pepper.
step or two above. Isn't it ghost pepper? So it's like a step or two above hot sauce.
Well, yeah. I guess it could be. It depends. It depends on what's in it. So to make up for it, I'm actually going to do a Reaper sauce. I'm going to do Bravado Spice Black Garlic Carolina Reaper. It actually sounds pretty good. The first ingredient is red serrano, vinegar, Carolina Reaper, garlic, maple syrup, black garlic, black pepper, and sea salt. So it could be good. We both might be crying. We'll
Right.
see. Hold up your bottle, Kris.
Yeah, here's mine. And the first ingredient says liquid hell. So
You were not kidding about that?
No,
I
I'm
thought you were
kidding. I'm kidding. No, the first ingredient is it just says liquid something I can't pronounce. Yeah. But I'm
It's
gonna go with liquid
interesting
hell. I
because
think it
hold
tastes
up the
better.
label again. It looks so benign with the nice white man with the bow tie. Yeah, hot Charlie. Yeah. Except for the
Yeah.
flames in the back.
Right. See, that's why I'm thinking liquid hell. So I'm gonna go with
It
liquid
could
hell. I'm
be.
already
It could
sweating.
be.
I'm sweating. I'm
It
ready.
could be. Okay, well then this episode should be interesting for both of us, I think. So, okay, everybody.
All
She's
right.
gonna do her sauce. Are you gonna do it naked? Or are you gonna put it on
I'm gonna do it
chips?
naked. I have a spoon that's long enough to get in there, and I'm just
Oh
gonna
my
put
gosh,
it.
she has a
So
spoon, everybody. I
I'm
got my
just
shot
doing it.
glass right here.
Oh, you're doing a shot glass, huh?
I do. I have a shot glass that actually says "Girl on Fire." You can't really see it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay,
All right,
so
yeah.
I'm only gonna put a little because I'm not stupid, and this is a reefer sauce. So, yeah.
Okay.
Only a little bit.
So here's mine, and Katie actually she saw that I opened it, even though it looks opened. I opened it in her presence, so she knows that I'm not
She
faking
did.
it.
She did off camera there. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, that smells hot. Okay.
Oh, you're done it.
Can't get it out. I'm just gonna have to do that.
Well, this was very smoky. Mine's very smoky.
It's got chipotle in it.
It tastes like it does.
This is really good.
Cayenne pepper, chipotle. I don't see chipotle in here, but it tastes like it. Not bad.
Okay.
That was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I'm actually going to do it again just because I feel like.
This is really tasty. I'm guessing it's a heat builder, but the flavor isn't like incredible. I think it's the garlic that's making it taste that so good.
This would be good with eggs. Totally
This would be good with eggs too.
Yeah.
I made some vegetable soup. This might be good in a vegetable soup.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I just made vegetable soup, and this probably would. Yeah, my mom. I make it for my mom, and so she would really like this, I think.
She likes hot sauce?
She likes spicy food. She has to watch her salt and things like that right now, so I'm trying to come up with different recipes for her, but I think she'll like this. I had milk out just in case. This was horrible, but I don't need it, so.
I'm getting some burning up in my nose, but it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It's not overpowering, but it's really tasty, guys. In fact, I wouldn't say the heat is not overwhelming at all.
No, I'm surprised. I was expecting tears. I was expecting snot, the whole sinus cleanage, but no, it actually is very tasty. I would recommend it.
Oh, this is okay. I'm highly recommending this from right here, Bravado Spice Company, Black Garlic Carolina Reaper. This is really good. Don't let the Reaper scare you because this is a kick-ass sauce right here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna recommend mine too.
And look, Happy Charlie right there. Happy Hot Charlie. Oh.
It's good.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of disappointed because neither one of us are crying.
But I'm sweating a little. So it did make me sweat just a little bit.
I'm not even, but this is really good. I'm gonna use it tonight. I can't stop eating it. It's really good. It's
That's fine.
and I really like garlic. I think it's because it has so much garlic in it. Yeah, it's really good. And it's such a simple sauce. It doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. There's vinegar, peppers, garlic.
Yeah, this is, yeah, for sure. It has vinegar, cayenne pepper, salt, a bunch of stuff, apple cider vinegar, garlic, spices, including paprika, the lucky spice, for those of you who knows what that means. It's gluten-free, so that's awesome.
Oh. Okay. Well, that wasn't much of a disappointment. I found a new sauce that I really like.
So it was a good thing.
I've been disappointed by this company's sauces so far, but this one is really, really good. So yeah. Okay. So it was kind of uneventful.
I know, but a letdown.
Yes, it kind of was. But we both discovered pretty good sauces, so that's always a good thing.
I did order, when I placed the order for this, I also ordered a habanero jelly to put like over cream cheese and stuff. So I had to eat that, and that was really good.
Oh, I make my own sometimes, actually.
I love that. I love that. Like, that's the first thing I want to, whenever there's a party, that's the first thing I want to make. Oh, let's get the spicy pepper jam with the cream
it
cheese.
is incredible with peanut butter.
Really?
Yes. I'm not kidding.
I love peanut butter.
Yes, it is incredible. It's like, okay, but the trick is, it doesn't have to be white bread. It can be a seeded bread. The bread doesn't really matter,
right,
but it has to be toasted. So the peanut butter will be a little runny.
Okay.
And then, you put the habanero jam or jelly on with it. I usually, like when I make it myself, I usually make it strawberry or raspberry or, whatever, some kind of berry. Because those flavors kind of go together, the sweetness of the berries and the fruitiness of the habaneros. So just a little bit of the habanero jet. Oh my God, it is killer. It's good with cream cheese too. It's good on toast. It's good on just about anything breakfasty. I mean,
I was gonna say, so we've got eggs with the hot sauce, with the ghost sauce, and then we have the peanut butter on toast. I think we got a breakfast coming up.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good. See, I could talk about food forever.
I wrote a book about food, so I'm your girl.
Okay. See, I think because I don't eat meat anymore, and I'm constantly trying to find a delicious way to be a vegetarian, and there's a lot of delicious ways to be a vegetarian, so I'm always looking for new recipes and everything, and people help me out with that every once in a while. They point me in the right direction, so yeah, I'm all on a food kick right now. So healthy food kick, right. I guess you could say. But okay, so you have a book coming out in what, 2 days?
2 days, yeah. October 1st, I have a book called Home. I have it right here, a copy right here.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that cover with the good-looking dog on the cover.
Right.
It's so sweet looking. Yeah, golden retrievers.
I love, it was really interesting because I submitted my idea to Bold Strokes, and it was just a novella because last Christmas I had a Christmas novella, and it was about a little cat and Tinsel.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
So I thought, that was such a success, and everybody likes around the holidays to have a feel-good book, and God knows this year we need it. So I said I wanted to do another holiday romance, and so Sandy's like, okay, hurry, get it done by this date, and we'll get it in for November. I'm like, great. So then I started writing, and then these characters, they all of a sudden it turned into a bigger story. So it's like a small book. It's 55,000 words. So it's bigger than a novella, but it's not, usually my full lengths are about 70,000 words. So this ended up at 55, a little over 55, just to get the story told. So.
Okay. Okay.
So they pushed it through. So that was nice.
Okay, tell us about the story.
Okay, so the story is about a sheriff of a small town, Sheriff Natalie Strand.
Oh, a
And
small town life. Oh, I
small
like that.
town,
Okay, yeah.
small town, population 1,880. So it's not like
That's
super
really
tiny,
small.
but
Yeah.
it's big enough. So
Uh-huh.
so Natalie actually, she left town, went to school, and became a police officer out in Colorado. And so there's kind of a couple nods to a few of my other books in this book, just like a quick one sentence thing. She finds out her dad has cancer, so she goes back to Spruce Mountain, Oregon, where the story takes place. And so she's been the sheriff, or at least involved in the department for 8 years. So all of a sudden it starts off, I read the first half of the first chapter the other day when we did a BSB bookathon thing. And she runs into her crush, her high school crush, who she kissed during a graduation party, and then never saw her or talked to her again. And all of a sudden, here comes Sarah Eastman, comes back into town, and they run into each other very quickly, and then Natalie gets called out on a call. So anyway. So the whole story is, that was just the first chapter. But
that's a lot that happens in the first chapter.
Yeah, it's like it's super fast. It's a quick read. It's nothing, deep or emotional. It's just a feel-good book. And so it's the journey. Sarah comes back and she has a daughter. And so, there's that whole situation, single mom, and when you start dating somebody, how you incorporate, that's a very sensitive thing. Been there, done that. I know what it's like.
Me too.
So we know. So I think I did a pretty good job. And there's like a whole kind of, not really a mystery of this dog that shows up, and 1 minute it's there and it always runs off. And so they're trying to catch it because they don't want somebody else to hurt it. And they want to find out, whose dog this is. They want to take it to its rightful owner. And so it's this kind of the story about the dog and the whole whirlwind of this girl coming back into her life and this dog kind of messing up her professional life. So the two worlds kind of collide. And so it's a cute little.
Oh, that sounds very cute. Yeah. And we do need a feel good type thing.
Yes.
I mean, it's been such a crappy year.
I know. So, and so I thought this was going to be my year. I thought 2020, this is it. I booked everything I could. I was like, I wrote 3 books during this year. I was like, this is going to be it. And bam, it all stopped.
All we can do is hope next year's the later half of next year, hopefully, will be better. Hopefully. So, okay. I'm on board with the book. I mean, I agree. We all need something, kind of light and airy, right now. Maybe with some awes. And how can you not awe over a golden retriever? I mean, my God.
There's like a golden retriever. There's a sexy mom. There's a super cute kid. I mean, it ticks all the boxes. And there's a sheriff, a hot sheriff. Oh my God.
What else do you want? I mean,
there's nothing else you want in this book.
Man, okay. So tell us something quirky about you.
Quirky about me. Quirky. I laugh.
You don't have any quirks?
I laugh at the wrong time. I think that is a problem. Maybe it's not really a quirk, but I don't know, because I have 2 lives. I have my professional life where, I work for an engineering company, and I'm like a personality. Like, I do not joke. That is my job. I'm a totally different person. And then when I get to unwind and be the writer, I'm totally different in front of people, that embrace this whole entire, our whole niche, our whole community of writers and readers. And so I'm a totally different person. So my quirks are just awkwardness. I think, and I say the wrong things at the wrong time. I'm the worst at that. Or the best at it. I mean, it just depends if you think it's positive or not. I don't know.
Quite a thing to aspire to. Okay. But you were telling me earlier that you had this thing about reading all of your reviews.
Oh, I do. I do. especially when a book first comes out, I want to get I want the temperature. I want to know what the temperature of the book is, how people are receiving it. So I think if somebody takes the time to read my book and then to write a review, then I feel like I have the right to read it or not read it if I choose to. And so I do. Especially when it comes out, I read the reviews on Goodreads and anytime. Sometimes I know. That's a whole different story we'll get into. I know. I have a friend who calls it mean reads. But,
yes, Tara Scott made me swear to not go on there again.
I know.
But I sneak and I haven't been on there in months. But like when I'm like you, when a book first comes out, those first, I would say 5 to 10 reviews, I'm kind of like, and then after they come out, whether they're critical or, really good, I can just kind of breathe a little bit, and just be like, okay, well, whatever.
Right. And it never changes. I don't know how many things have come out and I'm still the same. I still kind of get real panicky just because I'm like, okay, are people going to understand what I did and why I did it? Because it's not necessarily, it's not like, especially this, it's a fluffy holiday romance. It's not going to change lives or anything like that. It's just a feel good read because we need it.
It is what it is. There's no deep down digging that you have to do, which is can be a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I go from, I write the more intense books, in my sensory series, and then I write the fluffy stories because we need both, and so, so I do. I read my reviews, and a lot of times Twitter, a lot of the reviewers out there will post the reviews, not from Goodreads, but they have their own review sites. And so they'll go ahead and tweet it and they'll tag me in it and I'll read the review there. And so I do. I read all my reviews.
So what kind of reviews have you gotten for Home so far?
So far it's been, people like the story for the most part. I'm the kind of person, I don't get all 5s or all 4s. I'm all over the board. I go from 5 to 1 and 1 to 5. It's just like
Me too.
I get them all. And so for the most part, I think most of them are positive. I did get one review today, like right before we jumped on. I was just kind of looking at Goodreads, and somebody liked the story. But they didn't like something, an aspect of it that really took me by surprise, and I wasn't prepared for it. It was kind of being a sheriff, first of all, and the temperature of just society in general, and how we view cops and authority at this time. They were very put out by that, and the fact that in this book, because there is a child, the sheriff's department creates this kind of like during the summer, during the after school program, they're part of a program. And so the reviewer did not like that idea. They thought that it was not really glorifying cops, but just kind of like in our temperature today, that it's not a good thing to write about. And that really took me aback. I was really surprised by that.
I think, and like I was telling you earlier, I've been seeing a lot online about that, and I think because I don't get to read a lot, but from what I've seen, there's a certain personality that's depicted, with a cop in literature, and I think maybe that's the issue. I think maybe the stereotype has put people off. You know what I mean? The hard nose or, brash, arrogant, whatever that is. I mean, the detective that knows everything and, all that stuff.
This is like seriously fluff. It's like she's a sheriff. That's about all of it. I mean, now she goes out to a couple calls because dogs digging through the trash. But I think it's more of a things that, the temperature that's going on now. And I get it. I get that I 100% get it. But I mean, also a lot of these books are written 6-9 months ago.
Yes. I don't think people understand that sometimes.
If you self-publish, you can throw it up, you can like be done with it, edit it, and you can self-publish that day, but when you go through a system, if you work with a publishing company, you
it's
go
a
through
few
your
months.
editors. Yeah, it's at least a few months. I mean, I'm talking about like Scent comes out in January, and I wrote that book like a year and a half ago. I mean,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it takes a while to go through.
Yeah, and then most publishers, they have like a calendar who they're going to put out. So you pretty much have to wait your turn sometimes,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
and
don't
it
think
takes a
people
while.
understand that. I mean, I get it. I mean, being Black and everything, I've had my own experience with the cops and my friends, my friends that I actually hang with. I'm not hanging with anybody presently, unfortunately.
Right.
I've told my experience too. But when I lived in North Carolina, I used to get followed a lot.
Oh, God.
A lot, pulled over a lot. And, and I know part of it is because I look like a Black guy. I think they thought that's what they were pulling over. And it was always funny when they came around to the driver's side. You see they go like, "Oh, sorry, ma'am," blah, 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 but it's still scary.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
To see those. I actually, I can't remember one time when I saw, lights behind me that I wasn't fearful. I mean, I don't remember one time when I didn't feel that way, so, I mean, and it's crazy, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So I get it. I mean, I do, but I'm also, I do believe that not all cops are bad.
Right.
Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of them are, and which is unfortunate. I mean, so it worries me because I have a whole series with cops and in it and everything. And which are still pretty popular. People still read them quite a bit. I mean, so I get it, but I'm also like, this is escapism as well.
Exactly.
So let it be what it is. I mean, it would be different if like I said, if we were taking that formula of arrogance, hard nose, and a cop that operates in a gray or something like that. You can see them being kind of dirty, and doing things that are inappropriate. But for the most part, unless you're writing something gritty crime thriller or something like that, unless you're gonna have, straight and narrow. I mean, figuratively speaking.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
So yeah. I mean, it was something. Was it a couple of weeks ago? Somebody tweeted something about getting dinged because they didn't say anything about the coronavirus in their book.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. She posted the review, and I can't remember if it was Lesfic or what, but I remember seeing it, and I was like,
why would you want to write about this? This is horrible.
Thank you.
This is horrible. I will never.
It's horrible. I don't write. I mean, we're still in the midst of it, and I'm currently working on a book. I'm not going to write about it. My mom died. I'm certainly not going to write about it. I mean, so it kind of went over my head. I was like, it's escapism. Even though, for me personally, as a writer, I like some aspects of realism in what I write. Hello, Ray. Are you coming to visit?
That's Shadow.
Are you coming to visit? Okay. So as I say, I have that, that piece of realism I like to keep in what I write, to add some grit, to add, and make it kind of raw. But I'm not going to write about the coronavirus. 200,000 people have died. Unless I'm writing some kind of post-apocalyptic thing.
Or even like 20 years from now, I might mention it. When my character's mother maybe had it or something, when she was 20 or something. But I'm not going to write it in my books. Nobody wants to read that. We're living it.
Yeah, it's just like, and I mean, this whole circumstances. Now, I don't see how it could be made into light. I mean, a lighthearted situation. I don't see how you could do that. And to me, okay, like for instance, if sometime later this year, like in December, there's a book that comes out where people are quarantined together and fall in love. That would be weird. It would be a little. I
Because
guess
I'm
it
pretty
depends
sure,
on how
like,
it was written.
right,
I,
well,
I
yeah,
don't.
that's true.
I don't know. But if it was written as a comedy, no. If it was written, it would have to be angsty.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, it's just it would be something that has so much emotion in it. I mean,
Right.
So yeah. So let's have a little escapism. I mean,
Right. And like,
oh, oh,
I think coronavirus is too soon. You know how people always say too soon? You know, if they drop a joke about somebody, you know, for whatever reason, it's like, is that too soon? I think this is going to be too soon for like the next 20 years. I don't
yeah.
think I'm ever going to be that person that's going to write about it, because I mean, it's destroyed everything. I mean,
Yes, it
I really
has.
struggled. My editor reached out to me when she got my book sent, and she was working on it. She's like, "Wow, I didn't realize you told me you were struggling, but I did not believe you."
Mm.
And so we had to work through a lot of the book together, because like it like literally like just a wall for all of us, and we all just smashed into it. And
Yeah,
I'm
and
not going to write about something that absolutely just like emotionally destroyed me, not to mention all the physicalness of the change.
yes,
You know?
exactly. And it was just like I had started on a new book in I want to say January, maybe mid-January. And I was writing a little bit here and there. It wasn't a lot because I was gonna give myself at least 4 months to get it done. Maybe 4.5. And so I was tinkering on it, trying to get the characterizations and everything together. And then before I knew it, my mom was in the hospital. And and after that point, after she died, it was just like there was no words,
Right.
nothing. It was like the creative juices had just dried up, so to speak. And it's only been the last month and a half that I've been able to get that truck going again. And I was reading Megan O'Brien posted something on Facebook about how she's just blocked right now. She says there's no way she can write with all the horrible stuff that are, the election, Trump, coronavirus. She says she's so,
Yeah. She
you
said
know,
broken. She's broken.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I know we talked a little bit about Goodreads, and I actually I did a blog there, and I said, how am I supposed to write? And I said, Megan O'Brien said it best. She's broken, and that's how I feel, and that's how I think everything is, and that's how people feel with everything. It's we're broken.
Mm-hmm.
We're
I mean, because
confused.
our way of life has
Right.
it's changed, and I know people want it to go back and for it to be over, but it's not.
Right.
It can't be. I mean, and for those stupid people, and
Ugh.
I'm reluctant to call them that because I understand they're doing what they're doing for a reason. It's easier to not accept it and see all these conspiracy theories than to accept the truth. I
Right.
get it. I do. I really get it, so, but still, I mean, it's, man.
Tough.
Yeah, it
Tough.
is. It is. So a little escapism goes a long way.
I think so. I
It
think
really
right now
truly
is
does.
the time for it,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And it sucks. I mean, because there's nothing on TV.
I know, we've seen
No,
it all.
nothing.
Through everything.
I've been watching. We've been watching 90 Day Fiance. That's me and my wife's thing. So we watched that. There's this, and I usually don't like reality shows at all. So I've gotten into that a little bit, depending on what it is. And so we've been watching that. My wife loves football. She loves the New Orleans Saints, and she's like, I don't even care right now.
Aw.
Yeah.
So,
I
like
mean,
for us, I mean, Kansas City, we won the Super Bowl.
yeah,
We got to have our parade, and like the very next day, everything shut down. It was
yes,
like everything shut down. It was just like such a fizzle, So
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
and I'm trying to be positive. I'm just hoping there's better days ahead.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really trying to be positive about it. So, and I think it helps if we have books like yours to like kind of like just make us smile. Anything to make you smile. Music, art, whatever, just to take us out of that worry, anxiety zone for a little while. Because, there's a lot of people who have a lot of anxiety right now, who are going through depression right now, who need something to kind of at least pull them out of it just a little bit, even if it's just for a few hours, so.
I think at the very beginning when this all happened, like it really hit me hard. I was the one out of my whole family that I would do the shopping and stuff, and I'd go to the grocery stores and everything was bare. And it was just like, and I love apocalyptic anything, but I did not love it in my reality. It was very, very scary. And I refused to let my parents leave the house. They stayed in the house from March until June. And I think June 1st, they went out for the first time. They were like done. They're like, we'll wear gloves, masks. So I actually took them. I still visit with them, but I wear my mask. And we haven't hugged. We hugged on my birthday because I got a hazmat suit so I could hug them, because like my parents are everything, and I can't let them get sick. And so I went through a huge depression like when this all started, because it was overwhelming. It's like, what's really going to happen? We don't know. But I think now, it's not that it's evened out or even that we really accepted it. I think it's more like, okay, this is what we know we have to do to stay safe-ish, we think, And I think now that we kind of sort of know that we're stumbling along with everybody, but we're trying to stay ahead of the curve, I think I feel a little bit more grounded. I was flailing before. It was bad. And so it took me, I was in a dark place, and it took me a long time to get out of it. And so now I'm starting to climb out of it again.
Yeah. Me too. I would say, I think there was this prevalent fear, not just because of my mom, it's because, I'm high risk, because I am diabetic. I mean, even though I'm doing great with that, I'm still diabetic, so it was like, back in December, I had decided, okay, I'm going to start getting healthy. I'm going to start doing what I need to do, to get, just to get my weight down and everything, and get rid of this diabetes bullshit as much as I can anyway. So, and that's what I've been doing. I mean, you would think with all the stress that I've been under, all the anxiety, that I will be eating a whole cake every day. I've been tempted to, but I haven't. I mean, so, which is a good thing. So I've kind of stayed the course or whatever. I feel good. And to me, that's kind of helping, my outlook as well. So that and therapy.
Something you can control. You can control what you eat. And feel good
exactly.
About it. And it's a control thing. And so I know my mom, my mom has kidney failure. And so and
she's high risk as well. Yeah.
Good Lord. So I have been working on renal diet recipes here to try to find stuff that my mom would like and can eat, that has low salt and low potassium, because those are two things that are horrible for kidneys. And I follow suit. I mean, my kidneys are 60%, so I'm kind of in a high risk. Yeah, I'm kind of in a high risk group too, because kidneys are and I've fought my whole life. I've had kidney issues, and I never knew what that meant until my mom's like one step away from dialysis, and now I know what it means. Hello, baby. He's like, no.
You want to say hello, or you just want? Oh, he just want to climb on my shoulder.
Aw, I'm so jealous.
Say, I'm a big baby.
He looks like a big baby.
He is. Say, I weigh 26 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
You want to say hello, Finn? You don't want to say hello? Come on, turn around, say hello. Say hello. No. Oh, there's Ray Ray in the picture too.
I got some attention there.
Everybody, look, my animals just made a special appearance for you. The dogs are in the room with my wife. She's working right now, so they like to be underneath her, under her desk. So yeah. So they just made, look, guest starring Finn and Ray. I'm gonna have to put that on the graphic, like get photobombed. But yeah. So okay. So what? Tell us about this book you have coming out in January.
So in January, I have the fourth in my sensory series, and it's called Scent.
Oh,
And
okay. Is it with the touch?
yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, it started
Okay.
off with taste, touch,
Yes.
listen,
Yes. Yes.
and now this is scent.
Very popular series. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it actually turned out, even though I struggled so much with it, I think it
Uh-huh.
turned out pretty good. I
Okay.
think people will be happy. They'll be like, oh my gosh, Kris Bryant's back, woo, you know. And but it's this is the one where I had a like a not really an internship, but I visited with the chocolatier in Kansas City, the Christopher Elbow
Really?
group. Yeah, and so I'm so excited to talk about this because it was amazing. I went to the warehouse and where they make the chocolate, and I watched it being made. It's artisan chocolate, so it's handmade,
Ooh.
and it was fantastic. It just blew my mind. And so they were super friendly to work with. They greeted me. They were like, anything you want, anything you need, let us know. So we went behind the scenes. I learned all about how chocolate is made, how
Uh-huh.
it's processed. And then I went to the storefront and they gave me like a huge bag of samples just to have,
Oh,
and it was, so I shared it with my office because this was
I'm
pre-COVID,
jealous.
and it was fantastic. And so hopefully that comes through on the page.
Okay, yeah.
Because
So you do real life research,
I
huh?
do, I really do. I think it really helps, like it did for taste, because I went to
Uh-huh.
culinary school, and I sat in for a week at a culinary center here in
Uh-huh.
Kansas City. And I think because of that, I think it really amped up, you could feel my excitement in the book
Uh-huh.
because I was there, I saw it happen. So this is kind of the same way with the chocolatier. I was there in their facility and I saw how it everything is made, and it was just so
Uh-huh.
fascinating. I had no idea that's how they make it. And like what we consider chocolate is really
Uh-huh.
candy.
Oh,
Think about that. Like
really?
Hershey's chocolate is not really Hershey, is not really chocolate. It's a candy.
Oh, I
Yeah.
never thought. Huh.
And here's what else I learned: that you don't pair chocolate with wine. That's not really a thing. It should be with whiskey.
Get out.
Yeah,
Seriously?
that's what they told me. They have a whole room. They have a secret room. I don't even know if I should talk about this, but there's like well, maybe I shouldn't talk about this. But let's just say that
Well, you
whiskey
didn't say the
and
name of the company though.
I did
So
already.
did
I
you?
did.
Okay, I missed it. Okay, I missed
Dang
it.
it. Okay. But it was just a very good experience. And I was so excited to write the story. And I started it off. And basically what happens is my main character, it's first person again. So,
Mm-hmm.
because I wrote 2 third-person books this year. So I'm back
Mm-hmm.
to first person. And the character is Nico Marshall, and she owns a packaging company, a
Mm-hmm.
recycling company. And it was a project that started off in college and just took off. And it wasn't like how everybody wanted their career to go, but it was so successful, it was hard to walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So what Nico actually went to school for was art. And so her goal in life was she always wanted to be an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally she gets recognized. And so it's what happens is she's on the train. This takes place in Chicago. So she's on
Oh,
the
okay.
L, and she makes sure she goes there every Thursday because there's a woman who gets on the train and she always smells sweet. And like some days she smells like chocolate, some days she smells like buttercream frosting. And so Nico really wants to know who this person is. Like
Mm-hmm.
her goal is to find out, but she's so shy,
Mm-hmm.
and she's nervous to approach her. So it's kind of interesting how the
Oh,
worlds actually end up coming together.
okay. 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 See, I'm more like, this is the way you describe your book is like, and I think about what I'm writing now. It's like they're at 2 complete different ends of the spectrum, which is hilarious. I mean, I'm not saying that mine is dark by any means, but you're describing sweet,
Mhm.
and I'm writing more of the erotica type, humor, some humor, some a lot of other stuff thrown in. So it's just like, wow. And I guess my last book, Big Girl Pill, was probably the sweetest I can get.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I've read the Cops and Docs series, so I know that you get I know that you drop bombs like I do, like you curse
Yes.
like I do.
I
And,
have no problem with that.
I have no problem either. And that's one of the things, I will say this. I did read one review one time when somebody said that I used the word pussy too much in a book. She said it was just, for a romance, she just didn't feel like,
Was that the erotica you wrote?
no, that one, I don't care what it says about that. Anything goes in an erotica for sure.
I know, right? That's what I was about to say.
This
What
was
was
actually one of my romances.
Oh, shit.
So, but I will say that right now I'm writing the full length erotica and everything goes. Like I'm throwing it down.
I can't believe that. Okay. I was talking to a friend of mine a few weeks back, and she was she's a prospective writer. She's trying, to finish a manuscript and to submit it to a couple of publishing places. But she was saying that she tries to find synonyms for certain words, and we were making fun of the words that are used for female genitalia, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's I was telling somebody that vagina's okay. It can be a sexy word, but when you get to when you have vagina, and then you have labia, then you have mons, all mentioned in the same paragraph, it kind of you're kind of like,
much,
oh, yeah, it's a little much. Or you have, I've read something, love box. Yes. What else? I've read some crazy stuff where you're just like, you're reading it and you're just like, no, they did not just write that.
I find that what I read, I'll look at articles that talk about that, different ways to say, female genitalia. And so you read it, and a lot of it is straight romance. And like what they put there is like, and I remember reading stuff like that, and it just like, it never dawned on me, like why they didn't say pussy, or, I don't understand.
Yes. Her center. You see that a lot in het romance. Center.
I will say slit. I do say slit a lot.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, what else?
That's a sexy word, though. I mean, it's just a sexy
word.
Yeah. I mean, even cunt can be in the right place. Be good.
I won't put that word in romance for sure. I won't.
I have. You know what? I think I use it in this book that I'm writing, but I think, or maybe it was in something else. I don't remember. But yeah. That a well placed, not in a sexual way, but just as a two people talking and it gets thrown around, but I've used it before.
I will say this. So like when you're writing in first person, you're in the mind of the character. It's not the person actually talking. Like in my head, when I'm having sex, what's in my head and what I say are two different things. I could be like, I can't wait to, blah, 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 but in my head, it's, oh God, I can't wait to taste you. But I'm not thinking that in my head. Yeah, I'm thinking something dirtier than that, and but in the moment, you want to keep it nice and sweet and romantic, unless you're in a different type of environment, and it's just sexier to use different language, and you just have to know the situation. And so, but when I write romance, what people read on the page, like, oh, those are horrible words. I can't believe, she said that. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's reevaluate the next time you have sex, especially with somebody new, what words pop in your head or what actions you're thinking about, as opposed to what you actually say and do. Totally different. 100%.
Yes,
I'll fight
agree.
Anybody who says that's different. But
I mean, touch my vagina.
You're not going to write that on the page.
Or let me see. Tickle my love box. I actually think I've read that somewhere before.
Yeah,
It may have
I've
been
never
in fanfic, as a matter of fact. So
your love box. No,
that's,
I'd
yeah.
never say that or think that.
Well, I can't believe somebody would think it.
That's what I mean. That doesn't even like register to me.
I mean, anyway. Okay, both of these books sounds. I've not. You know what? I've never read anything by you. You gave me a couple of ebooks a while back, and I think I was writing, and it's pretty much impossible for me to read when I'm writing.
Yeah, I get that 100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got all these free ebooks from all these authors, and I've not read anything. I mean, like, oh my God, I feel so bad. And I like to read and review, especially other authors. I mean, I like that. I mean, I would say the only books I've actually read, um, all the way through have been Requiem for Immortals
Mhm.
and The Sex Therapist Next Door.
Mm-hmm.
I did the audio book for both of those, and I
Oh,
probably
wow.
listened. Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was
I actually
interesting.
just referenced Megan O'Brien's book to an up and coming erotica novelist, somebody who's
Really?
getting ready
Which
to.
one? Just pick one. I mean, pretty much.
I know. So I recommended that book in particular because there was a question about like, how do you really make an erotica work? I'm no expert by any means. It's like, yeah. So I said, well, you got to figure out kind of like a loose plot, and then it's all about sex and no emotions, and the emotions can come at the very end if you're writing an erotica romance. And I think Megan O'Brien nails it. I think she does a great
She
job.
does. I don't know how she does it. Wild is my favorite book by her so far, and I've read almost everything, I think, but Wild stands out for me, and it's for that reason. It's like the emotions, and I'm just like, how the hell does she do that? I mean, I'm just like, wow. By the way, everybody, she's coming on the show soon, so that should be fun. Yeah, her and Angie. So yeah, it should be fun.
Nice.
Okay. So, but yeah, she's like, to me, it's like she could teach a master class, because I've not
100%.
read anything like her stuff ever. It's just, I want to say Wild was the first book I read by her. And it was one of the first books I had read in Lesfic in a long time.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was just kind of like, holy shit. I was like, this is really good. There's something about it. It's just, it's just something about
Great at it, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why, I tried it. I'm trying it now just to see, just to kind of challenge myself. And so what I did was the very first thing I wrote, erotica, was a little short. It's not a short, I'm sorry, it's a novella. Shameless.
Yes. That's the one I have that. Yeah.
So this one, the book I'm writing now, is the character in Shameless, the other point of view. So it's going to be her story.
Oh.
So it's pre-Shameless, like how she gets to where she is, and then during Shameless, like what on her point of view from what's happening that Emery's doing to her, and then post.
Oh.
So that's my full length that I'm working on now, and I have about 60,000 words, and it's due in 2 days. So I have to get an extension. There's no way I'll finish it.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting for my editor and for everybody there who works on it, because Sandy even told me the problem you're gonna have is you're gonna put romance in the book, and you can't have romance until the end. So I'm like, so I'm going back but you have to make it so that they're not ice queens either. It's just people who have sex and like sex.
It's like walking that fine line between the sexiness and just keeping it to feel good instead of emotions like kind of cropping up, so to speak, or maybe just kind of have it on the periphery, where it's a fine line.
It
I
is.
mean,
It's harder than
I'm
I thought
just
it was
like,
going to be.
so I'm just like, I'll applaud anybody who can do it. And this is why I say this book that I'm writing is not erotica, but it's like, it's probably going to have more sex in it than I've ever written, um, because of just the way the characters are, and how they're going to get together. My phone is blowing up. Oh, they're tweeting about us.
Uh-oh.
So, but yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I think this is the book I'm working on is a lot different from what I've written before. I think it's different from what I've written before. Just the first chapter is a lot different from what I've written before, and I'm very excited about it, and it's nice to be excited about writing again.
Yeah, exactly. Good for you.
So yeah, I'm about 20,000 words in, and I'm hoping to be finished with it by the end of Nano. So
okay,
hopefully. So
yeah, that's good. I mean, and that's my favorite part of a book is the very beginning.
yes.
To come up with that lead paragraph or whatever, that's killer. Like that.
Yes.
That seals the story.
Yes, it does. It either captures or leaves your audience kind of like, what?
Yeah, or you have 30 seconds to get their attention.
Yes.
Really. Like if somebody's even at a bookstore and they're looking and they read the blurb and they're like, let's see how it starts.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds to get them. And so
that's my advice to any budding writers. You have less than a minute to capture, what the essence of what this book is going to be about. So you have to not always start with a bang, but just enough to where somebody's like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So, okay. Is there anything else you want to add before we close shop?
Well, let's see. What haven't we talked about?
I know, right?
We covered quite a bit. We talked about reviews. We talked about books coming up. I did a short story for something, but I don't know when it's coming out, for the Lone Star collection.
Oh, okay.
I'm not quite sure when that's coming out. I haven't heard, or if that's even going to come out. It was I was asked to write. But I'm starting to finally get back into it. So I'm glad we're both like moving forward and pushing through this. So kudos to you for doing that.
I'm trying. I was just talking to my wife last night. I was like, oh, wow. I said, we're coming up on 6 months of the anniversary of my mom's death. And I was like, it seemed like it's just yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure it feels like,
yeah. And by the way, thank you for being part of the auction. I really appreciated that.
You're welcome.
So yeah.
It's for a good cause, and I was proud and happy to be a part of it. And I think I think you did really well overall with this. I
did very well. I have enough for the surgery and for probably follow-up appointments, and all that stuff. So
do you have any idea when that's going to happen?
I've talked to a surgeon. I have an appointment with her in December, but she's going on maternity leave, and she'll be back in late March. Okay. So we're looking at she'll be I think she said February. So it's either March or April.
Wow.
So yeah.
Good.
So it's not far.
I was super happy at the turnout. I mean, you had a lot of people, that bid on things, and a lot of people who.
It was shocking. I was like,
great community, and everybody loves everybody, and we want all of our sisters to get what they want.
Yeah, and I was expecting a couple of $1,000, and I was like, anything to put a dent, in it, but at the end, it was about $25,000.
That's awesome.
It's insane. Yeah, and it's just sitting in a savings account right now.
So that's got to make you feel good that people
It does. I mean, because I'm like, even my wife was saying, you don't know how long, if by the time you have the surgery, if I'm going to be doing in-person work, or if I'm still going to be doing like telehealth, or, doing FaceTime with my kids and my clients, how long I'm going to be out of work. or if I'm still going to be doing telehealth, it will be a lot easier. Then I wouldn't have to be out of work. I could just come in my office and, or whatever. So yeah. So, but okay. So it's been great having you on. It's been a good experience.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I apologize for everybody for us not crying.
I know.
Yeah. But it was a good episode. Yeah. So if I have you on again, we might have to get a harder sauce for you.
Okay, yeah, I agree, because I was freaking out that just the word ghost pepper alone. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. And I have a ghost pepper sauce that is probably hotter than the sauce that you had.
Oh, really?
It's even hot for me because it's really good, but it's like, it's just like, okay, I got to take a break here for a minute. It's really good, but it's really hot. So it's probably hotter than the sauce you had. So, but yeah, we'll have to do a different sauce. But yeah, everybody, this was really good. This is really good.
I like mine too. I'm all for that too. I think it's great.
So if you were to rate it for taste, at 1 being horrible, 10 being the best, what would you say?
As far as like heat and hot sauce goes, I'd probably give it a 7.
Okay.
I'd give it a 7, I think.
What about taste?
Tastes. I liked the taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 7.5, a little bit more than that.
Okay, I would give this one, because as we were talking, the heat kind of snuck up. I would give this one maybe a 7.5 for heat, because it stings a little bit, and it lingers. And then as I was talking, it was just like, ooh, okay. So
you probably had the liquid hell, and I didn't.
Well, no, I mean it wasn't too, but it was like a really tasty liquid hell, I guess you could say. But for taste, I would give it maybe an 8.5 or a 9. It's a really good sauce. Yeah, nice. Apparently I really like black garlic. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't expect
garlic
this.
Makes everything better. Everything
it does. I keep telling my wife that, and she just like, it's too much garlic.
Everything has to have garlic. It's great.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. So, good luck on the book coming out. I'm sure it'll be a hit just like all the other ones
I hope so. Thank you very much.
So, okay. All right, everybody. That's the end of this episode. I'll see you again soon with another special episode coming up soon. So, stay tuned. Everybody have a good day.
Bye.